Hello and welcome everyone to episode 182 of One Piece at a Time, the One Piece read-through podcast where we read and discuss 5 chapters of the One Piece manga each and every week. I'm your host, Derrick Bittner, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host and freelance letterer, Brandon Bovia. How you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm, of course, Brandon Bovia, freelance letterer extraordinaire, and, this, I think... This week is when whole cake starts whole caking.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I thought about it in my head. I feel like this is again, maybe not quite in the full swing of things just yet, but we're just bit by bit.
If this is going to be the flavor of whole cake from this point on, I get it. I get why people are excited. And as we were talking about before we started just a little bit, it's certainly a slower pace than Dressrosa was, but it kind of works to its advantage, and that the way you're slowly figuring out more about basically how the Straw Hats are just all over their heads.
Oh yeah. Well, in multiple ways, certainly with Luffy's group and certainly with Sanji's group, and in the way that things just feel so. The odds feel kind of insurmountable in a way that they maybe have never before, or in a different way.
Yeah.
Compared to previously, the powers at play here, sort of the powers that be, are sort of a different flavor of insurmountable in terms of just the world and setting and things like that. So it's definitely it's a change. It's a shift.
It's one of those things where in my mind, I could kind of see how Luffy and the Straw Hats would be able to take down certain other obstacles they've had in their way up to this point, get through anything that's come out their way before. With this, I don't know how they do it. I don't have a definitive answer about how this all breaks down because
it's starting to feel maybe not in a complete way, but there are flavors of hopelessness. I think starting to drift in a little bit.
Yeah, because this is. I think Oda's doing a very good job of emphasizing. No, you're up against an emperor.
yeah. It's different this time, and that's what I love about this arc in particular, since it is our first emperor, and Big Mom, as we've kind of seen her in bits and pieces so far, she's kind of a Looney Tune in her own right, but still horrifying, and just dealing with sort of the level of logistics, the level of, just sort of the scale at which things happen. And that's what was great about Dressrosa too, was sort of selling that, this is the step before that, and look at how much you need to take down somebody like Doflamingo. And again, I will continue to emphasize, we're in enemy territory, allies are sparse.
Yeah, that seems to be the key thing here, is that there are no allies to really save them this time. That Luffy can eventually join up with or anything like that. Big Mom
Save us, Jinbei.
has them locked down in a way that Doflamingo only thought he did.
Yeah, that's true. And he was the one who was like, I'm not going to underestimate the Straw Hats. He had a plan for every plan, almost like Crocodile, and look where that got him. But just from the size, Big Mom's crew just seems like, this is the challenge is escalating. So
for sure. So let's dive into it with chapter 836, Lola's Vivre card. And time for Dex of the World to show us some Aokiji. Checking out the paper, eating a skewer thanks to his penguin. No idea where he is, what he's doing, anything like that, but there's Aokiji.
Yeah, he looks like he's in Colorado.
Kinda, yeah. Just enjoying the resort, I suppose.
There? Yeah.
That's certainly something. Oh gosh, but we get into the chapter itself with Nami putting the pieces together. It was like, wait a second, you have a daughter named Lola who ran away from home and then remembered Pudding talking about her older sister who left to find love. And, then of course we have her dad actually saying, Lola, Chiffon, I just want to see my daughters. And that's when Nami's like, oh, it's Lola who we met at Thriller Bark who gave us her mama's Vivre card. It's saying, oh, it's precious to me, but since you and I are like sisters, and like, oh, apparently Lola's mama is an amazing pirate. It's bound to come in handy. And it's just like, wait, Lola's mama is Big Mom? And this is her father right now?
There it is.
And again, I can't remember where I theorized it when she said she came from the New World. I knew there was a Big Mom coming. So this is the sort of thing, the thing I've been sort of dancing around a little bit, that I couldn't remember if it was fully revealed or not. And it looks like no, but I think I did make the prediction.
I think you did. I remember feeling like, oh, he got it. Like that. Yeah, that's it. And this, oh my goodness, this feels so much like, now that we're here in Whole Cake Island, now that we're here, some 800 odd chapters into the manga, the pulls that we can start pulling from, sort of the Chekhov's guns that can start going off, the things that we can start pulling of the setups and their payoffs is like, oh, we are this has been a long time coming to actually get Lola's Vivre card, like, oh wait, is it actually potentially Big Mom? And let alone meeting her dad of all things, who was plucked from the ground like a turnip.
Oh my god, it's just,
yeah.
Oh, what does this mean? Especially when it seems like her father's on the outs. Lola's certainly on the outs because she actually left. But the funny thing is that Lola seems to respect her mom still.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah,
there's no hard feelings there. She just wanted to find her own love, but she still loves Big Mom. Yeah.
And the way that she was like, she'll, if you run into my mom, she'll help you out, which is certainly not what happened here. And we already kind of know from Sanji's side of things, right? Like, you can't, like, if she sets you up with a marriage, you're it. Like, she's not going to take no for an answer. So, like, how did that work out for Lola's side of things? I'm definitely interested in getting some answers for that.
Yeah, I do wonder, is that Vivre card from Lola enough to turn Big Mom's opinion around?
Right.
That's the big question, because I think when that happened, I had the idea, I was like, wait, is Big Mom not actually that bad? And then I'm seeing this like, no, she's kind of bad.
You're right, yeah. But she's also bad in ways that are kind of unpredictable, right? Like,
yeah.
In almost, I always kind of equate like her kind of logic and her kind of way of thinking is like to that of a child almost, where things are almost kind of like too simple, but also too nonsensical, and you never kind of know which one you're gonna get. And of course, sometimes she goes on kaiju rampages, so it's like, how, if we get the sort of like, hi, I've got your Vivre card, like, we roll up to Big Mom and that happens, it's hard to say what her reaction would be.
She is chaos incarnate, so I have no glue on that one.
Very much so.
In the meantime, we have that revelation while this cracker is coming for them. And all the while, here comes the rabbit again. It's like running his crane. And that's when Cracker just shouts out, "Stop, Randolph," which causes them to veer off and just crash into the ground. And causes even the souls of some of the trees to just sort of wither away and run. Like,
yeah, they just like straight up like withered up.
From sheer fear of this guy. And all the other trees start reacting, being like, was that one of the, what's one of the sweet three doing in this forest? And it's just like, no, am I not allowed to be here? It's like, no, we're sorry, Master Cracker. They're just like, oh gosh. And it's like,
looking a lot like Wispy Woods here. Those trees.
Then there's a Cracker's just like, you must be a big shot now if you think you can interrupt my business, Randolph. And then I love Randolph finally speaks, says, sorry, the cream said to do it. It's like, no, he didn't. Yeah. You did that. Just getting some personality from these two.
Yeah, no, it's great. The personality with all of the whatchamacallit, the homies here, the little like souls inside all the objects here. Like I love we kind of get some talking from Cracker here. It's like, Mama always has her next move set in motion. Luffy beat Doflamingo, so like she knew that Brule would have trouble, so she sent me. And I just like that you kind of get like this big talking tree with like this like almost like classic, like cliche curly mustache. And he says, "Exact tree." He's got a big old talking tree, but he looks quite evil.
If she ordered me to do it, I would have killed him at once. I completely a tree.
Yes, well, yeah. We learned this guy's name's King Bomb, which is also just a fantastic name.
I like the little indication that like Luffy just knows, no, he's tough. That's for sure. He can just immediately sense that no, Cracker's an issue.
Oh yeah. The sense of scale here is kind of breaking my brain a little bit, but
a little bit, especially because, well, we haven't got his bounty yet, but we will find it out. But yeah, Cracker's just like, nah, this is no time for games. The Finspoke siblings will be arriving at Whole Cake Chateau by the middle of the day tomorrow. And this joining of our houses with the Finspokes is a long-awaited event for Mama. She's going to have the might and scientific prowess of Germa 66 at last. And basically like, yeah, I get it. And that's what... I love how Luffy mistakes Brûlé as a tree branch. It's like, it's not me.
Yeah.
It's not a branch. And reveals,
a little rude.
A little rude. Reveals that she's captured Chopper and Carrot. And then she, accidentally drops it and crashes the mirror, which fortunately they're okay. It's just the mirror that actually shattered, not them.
Yeah, thank goodness. But, it looks like this is all kind of like... it's set up for the action basically, and I like that. We kind of get like, what is oh my god, I already did we get a name for the dad?
We've not got a name for the dad yet, I don't think.
Okay, yeah, but basically like, Mom, we have permission to kill him basically. And even I love that he's like, I'm technically your father. Like, you can't.
It's like, no, formally, but not anymore. To Mama, all of her past 43 husbands are nothing but strangers unconnected by blood. And he's like, no, that's not fair. I'm related to our daughters by blood. Don't do this. And he's about to get his head friggin' cut off. And that's when Luffy stops him with a foot in some hockey covered foot. And makes him drop the sword, or makes him drop the father with a good hit to the arm. And it's like, oh, we are in it now.
Yeah, here we go. We've been in the forest for a little bit, but now it's like, all right, here's Luffy's first challenge.
I love the line. Is this sympathy? When you see somebody dozens of times, you can't help but get a bit attached.
That's all. That's very funny. That it's just Luffy's just been looping around so many times. That's the only reason he cares for him.
And all the living objects are like, oh god, this is bad. He's about to start a big fight. We got to get going at.
Yeah, we already saw that they were intimidated by him, so we got to clear space. There it is, and we finally learn this Big Mom's ex. His name is Pound.
Okay. And it's like, did you mention Lola's name? We don't really get into it too much, other than that the homies are all trying to capture them right off the bat. And that's when Nami, seeming with an infinite hammer space between her breasts, because she pulled her climate baton out of there.
That's true. Yeah, the Viva card was in there too.
But revealing the Viva card is enough to shock all of the homies, including King Bomb. Is like, no, we can't disobey.
Yeah, God, the tree puns are so good, and I love that. Like Nami doesn't quite know what's going on right now, but just sort of the idea that like, oh, Nami, seemingly all of the homies here can she could stop them all in their tracks. And it's just like, oh no.
That's how powerful her Big Mom's soul is, emanating from that Viva card. And that's when Luffy gets tossed into some of the trees and knocks a bunch of them over. Because
it seems the fight has already started.
Oh gosh. Cracker starts multiplying his limbs.
Yes.
And that's when we get the breakdown. It's like, do not even dream that you can defeat me. You should not interfere with Mama's tea party. And that's when we get Big Mom Pirates, Sweet Three Generals, the 1,000-armed Cracker with a bounty of 860 million berries.
Yeah, not quite a billion, but he's up there.
He's up there with Kaido's, and who knows what rank this dude is, but again, underneath the Emperor. Oh,
Yes.
dear God.
Yeah. No.
And
this
certainly,
is,
I don't know if we ever heard Doflamingo's number, but certainly higher than Doflamingo.
Yeah. I don't know if we ever did know Doflamingo's bounty. But certainly, like, I feel like for a minute there, like, I feel like Luffy, when he got 500 mil, I feel like that was the highest we had seen.
Mm-hmm. And now we're starting to see
like
a lot more that are
bigger. We got that huge jump with Jack, who was $1 billion, and so now we're kind of getting like, okay, there are people who are like, he's not quite Jack level, but he's, certainly in that ballpark, which is a little scary. It is a little bit horrifying.
Yeah, like, we know bounties aren't exactly a indicator of how powerful a pirate is, but it certainly gives you a slight indication of like what you're dealing with. And seeing 860 million is like, oh no.
Yeah. As a ballpark, as sort of Luffy's first fight in Whole Cake Island, it's like, okay, this is going to be not a walk in the park, not a cake walk, if you will.
Yeah, it's not one of those cases where it's just like he gets to steamroll through everything. No, you were against an emperor. You were going to be pushed. And Nami's
and I kind of like that.
Yeah, I do too. It gives it that different flavor.
Yeah. God, the puns. I feel like compared to even Dressrosa, where like thanks to the tournament, we kind of had that slow build up to like, once we got from Luffy's perspective, at least, once we got to, like near the end of the tournament, like there was sort of that build up with Dan Chinjiao and stuff like that. But like, this is sort of like his first matchup right from the start is, he's got a goofy design, but he's certainly, going to be he's a threat.
Yeah, it really did emphasize that. No, really, only Doflamingo felt like he was any real challenge for Luffy, especially because he had to break out Gear 4 and is like, oh no. But I do like the way we end the chapter here. Is like Nami's trying to say like, we don't turn this into a serious fight. It's not our goal. We just need to get past this forest. And it's like, I don't know any way to fight other than serious. So
yeah, here we go.
It's on.
Yeah, it's on.
Oh. But, man, thanks to the SBS, we get even more Noland lore.
Yeah, right. The gift that keeps on giving.
It's like, pumpkins are a special crop in Skypiea, and it was Noland the botanist who introduced the pumpkin to Jaya, the original island, correct? And I've noticed there are plenty of pumpkins in Dressrosa, too. Is it possible that when Noland met the Tontadas on his travels, he learned how to grow pumpkins from them? Tell me. And it's like, yep, that's correct. A perfect answer. Pumpkins are very nutritious, so it looks like the crop took root wherever Noland brought it. Perhaps it's a sign of the trust he earned from those he met, too. It's like, damn it, Noland was amazing.
That is some crazy world building. Like, just
right?
not even like the kind of thing that's not even acknowledged narratively. You would literally have to kind of put two and two together here to see things like that, which is, I don't know. That's incredible.
Yeah, I love that. And it almost emphasizes the tragedy of Noland the liar even more, that all he's known for now is just the liar, not the incredible discoveries he did make. So it's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's Vito, like, how does his huge hands fit through his sleeves? It's just like, just kind of fold.
Very carefully.
But let's go ahead and move on to our next chapter, 837, Luffy versus Cracker the General. And hey, look, it's Yasopp.
Yeah, I don't recognize any of the other guys.
I don't either.
From the red hair pirates, so I guess this is, Yasopp and whoever he's rolling with.
Some other crewmates, but I honestly don't recognize them. It just seems like some sort of desert. It's not the usual group we see him with, but I wonder if he actually does recognize his son, and that's why he's laughing.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah, I do too. Who knows what Yasopp is actually like?
Yeah, we have no idea. That's such a funny, just as an aside, like that's such a funny thing that learning that Usopp's dad has kind of been here all along, and there's just been no kind of like, not really any sort of characterization or narrative element. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, he left town and he's hanging out with, Luffy's idol.
And the way these underlings are working on coming along with the other emperors, it's like, how high is Yasop's bounty?
That's also true.
Which also, when you really think back to the beginning of the series, it's like, oh, that poor bandit that he had
no, absolutely. No, they were they were rocking in-game gear. They were coming back to the first town.
But into the chapter itself, and we get Cracker talking himself up as he has 4 legs and 6 arms, and he's saying, I am Cracker, the Knight of Biscuits, and my sword's name is Pretzel. It is a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. Well, how's he multiplying his limbs? And for being one-of-a-kind, why does he have so many of those swords?
Very, very good questions.
Yeah. I didn't think it'd actually be answered like it actually does in this section. So
yes,
Nami's just like, we got to withdraw. That has to be one of her high officers. And Luffy's like, nope, no way. And he goes right into a hockey infused Gear 3, and Elephant Gun is blocked by Cracker and pushes him away.
Yeah. Oh boy. He got blocked by bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Biscuit that's forcing him away with his little biscuit shield. So it's like, oh my God.
Yep. and he's even like, Luffy's like immediately on the back foot where he's like, he's trying to block some of the attacks. He's got hockey on his arm trying to block some of it. But it's just like the multiple arms and legs is just too much for him.
I'm seeing all these swords come out. I was like, damn, Zoro missed out. Like, this is his real sword fight.
Yeah,
stuck fighting Diamante.
Yeah, right. Or a Pika.
Or Pika, yeah, that's right. Pika. Sorry, mixed them up.
Yeah.
But Luffy, if it wasn't for his last-minute hockey right in his chest, he would have gotten speared. But either way, he gets sent flying through the living trees. More of these guys getting just destroyed. Good God.
Yep.
And
I think everything being alive here makes like sort of the battle damage, like the environmental damage, just like extra funny.
It really does. It's just like there's no care for the lives around them. Whatever.
Yep.
I have to assume the soul energy goes back to Big Mom, or she's just taken so much that it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You don't notice it.
So everybody else gets to watch all this with stunned silence, and it's pretty much. And definitely emphasized with Nami being like, oh no. That is her going, oh no, is not good. And
yeah, that even Luffy's getting overpowered by one of the underlings. And so, Nami, of course, kind of, smartly being like, we gotta run. But of course, she's being blocked here by King Bomb and Brûlé.
Mm-hmm. It's like, and she's like, oh, you got to deal with me. It's like, but I understand. You just got scared, didn't you? Worst generation? Big whoop. So you had your fun on the first half of the Grand Line. Well, I've seen countless faces of despair from lesser crew members like you who are all so certain that their captain would be the one to claim the Pirate King's mantle. Many of them wandered into Mama's domain these past 2 years. Captain Kidd, Roar of the Sea Apu, Beige the gangster, or Rouge the mad monk. Aside from Beige, who wisely recognized his danger and joined our forces, they were all tossed out like the lightweights they are, without ever catching a glimpse or hearing a word from Mama. Oh no!
I also like the detail that Arouge was the only one to get anywhere, because apparently they used to be the Sweet Four, but now they're the Sweet Three. But and that loss, Big Mom was so pissed that she sent Cracker to crush him. So that's crazy.
Yeah. Who would have guessed that Arouge would be the one that's most effective? And yeah, again, as you said, yeah, she took out most of the worst generation.
Yeah, I like that. Like there's something funny about like the fact that presumably 5, because of Killer is on Kid's crew,
right?
Like they all went to Big Mom and they all got slapped individually.
And then Kid and Apu and Hawkins decided we're going to try to take on Shanks.
Yeah, that really makes me wonder the order of events here, especially since I remember back on Fishman Island, like they. I think Tamago or Peckhams or one of them had mentioned, like, yeah, Kid's kind of wreaking havoc on our like transport ships.
Oh yeah.
So it makes me wonder if Kid was running around pissing off Big Mom and then was like, hey guys, maybe we should form an alliance to try to take on Shanks. I imagine too, especially since like outwardly Shanks probably maybe looks like the weakest of the 4 emperors, so it's like, all right, let's go to try to take on this guy.
Yeah.
If we can't get to Big Mom. Let's try to fight the most chill of the emperors.
Just a former member of the Pirate King's crew. He should be easy.
Yeah, that's easy mode. So
right.
I do like sort of learning that it's really not a cakewalk, for like the supernovas seem to all be kind of going through it in their own way. Especially like I feel like that's probably the first detail we've learned of a Rouge like since we got here.
We don't really know much about a Rouge. He's been kind of our most mysterious in a lot of ways. But Brule just keeps laying it in there, goes in her mirror, starts taunting Nami, tries to pull her into the mirror world, basically saying, fight the emperors, infiltrate the tea party, stop the wedding, take back your comrade, dream within a dream. You will never even hope to catch sight of Mama's face. You will die in this forest. Now come into my mirror world. And that's when Pound actually fights back, throws a punch, and it's like, get away from her. It's like, well, she knows my daughter, so I got to help out. And she's taunting Nami, and that's when Nami releases her Thunderbolt tempo and just fries her immediately. He's like, okay, this
is great.
We have some that we can handle. That's good. That is very good that we can handle some of these members of the Charlotte family. But those 3 generals, those are the issue. Yeah,
for sure. And of course, the interesting detail that Pound kind of mentions is that like Brule can basically appear from anywhere with a mirror. So like she has that is difficult to deal with. But it's kind of cool that like because Nami's friends with Lola, and Big Mom said it. I could be killed, so might as well fight back. But might as well team up. But of course, I like that that. Again, that payoff from all that time ago. Nami's just like, I'll make good use of this. Gives a little
get that more confident smirk on her face. Is like
right. Okay. It's like, all right, now Nami.
I have a bit of a trump card. We're gonna make use of this.
Yes, absolutely. She is going to abuse this.
And all the while, the fight's still going with Cracker is still going on as they're trying to run from the fight happening. But, don't forget you're the seducing woods. You can run away, but there must never be an exit. So be careful.
Yes.
And Luffy attempts the Hawk Gatling, and the hard biscuit is still too much for him to break through. He can't.
I love.
Can't do it.
Something stupid about the power of biscuit. It's being like, oh,
he's up against the Great British Bake Off. He stands no chance.
Exactly. There was no hope. And of course, Cracker uses this time to just start, really kind of laying it into Luffy. If you think of Sanji as your comrade, let him go. His status is far greater than yours. Basically just like give up, all that. And you claim that you can, take your friend back rather than allowing him to be happy. When his annoying former captain gets to him, that proud prince will no doubt say, "Be gone from my sight, you miserable inferior pirate." And then that's the trigger that gets him to do some damage. Luffy hits him with the Kong gun in Gear 4.
Yep, just immediately goes into Gear 4 with Kong gun and just
now it's
really
time.
Sends him flying. Like, okay, now it's a fight.
Yep.
Don't insult Sanji. Even if he's too happy to want to come back, he would never speak to us like that. As like, it really emphasizes like, oh crap, Luffy stands no chance against him unless he's using Gear 4.
Yeah, which that's crazy to. I mean, of course, obviously, the scale of the threats is going to keep increasing, but like that, this was the trump card against Doflamingo, and it is the survival mechanism against one of Big Mom's generals. It's just like, okay, oh boy.
Oh, that's scary.
Yep.
But we do have an SBS, but it's just more birthdays. So how do we come up with those? And we get some ages for some of the characters. Nothing too crazy about any of those. So we could just continue to move on.
Yeah, I like that. I didn't. Obviously, I could kind of forgotten that giants had longer lifespans. So of course, Haruden he's 81.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty wild.
Nice. It does strike him as rather young compared to the other giants we've met.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like he seems like definitely younger than Dorian Bragi, but like even I would assume younger than Oimo and Kashi.
Yeah, probably. They were part of Dorian Bragi's crew.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So anyway, let's get to chapter 838, Chobro. Which is a great title.
Great title, yep.
The decks of the world are already finished. It felt like it flew by.
Yeah, it really did.
But how fitting that we end with Shanks seeing it, where he's at a wedding at a certain ruined island. So looks like this is the same that where of course Yasopp was. We can see his first mate. I always forget his name, but there's his first mate.
Is that Ben Beckman? Is that?
I think that's Ben
that's
Beckman,
it.
Because I forget the fat guy that's always eating meats too. We don't get to see him, but
yeah, I don't remember that guy's name either.
Yeah, but I dig Shanks's pants, the rose pants. I wonder who's getting married. Maybe it is the big guy with the meat.
Yeah, I frankly have no idea. That would be really funny, actually. And it's just I like that whenever we do check in on Shanks, like he's happy to see that Luffy's growing.
Yeah, he's always all about Luffy to see how big Luffy's getting, and it's
and that like. Of course, we've talked about this before, but like I am very much anti like, Shanks is a secret villain, because he's an emperor. That like, yes, he's going to potentially have to fight Luffy at some point, but that doesn't mean there has to be like bad blood or anything like that, Mm-hmm. So I like that sort of the depiction of Shanks is very consistent and just like that he doesn't seem to have any sort of ulterior motive. That he's just like, man, Luffy's really making a name for himself.
Yeah,
that just makes him happy and he's proud. Like I hope it's
not
like, anything more than that.
I don't want to meet him yet because he's not at a point where he would feel proud to give me back the hat. So it's not time to meet
exactly.
yet. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
There is too much merchandise of him giving Luffy the hat to make it to ruin that moment with. Nope, he was a secret villain the entire time.
Yeah,
you can't. It can't. It's too embedded. It's too embedded.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be too cruel. I don't think Oda would do it.
Nah, I don't think so. But into the chapter itself, Cracker is on the ground, and Luffy is into his bounce man form as we get the bouncing going. He's like, no, I am going to see Sanji. And he goes for it, and we get pretzel roll meeting up with Kong Gun, and he goes straight through the pretzel roll, straight through Cracker's body as Cracker, literally crumbles, when all of a sudden some other form comes from within Cracker and lashes out at Luffy, cutting into his Gear 4 hockey-covered wrist.
Yep. Ugh.
Cuts into that. How the heck did he... Like, that right there is scary and actually makes Luffy flail back in pain. And not good. Also, it's time to actually meet the true Cracker. Because turns out...
a lot more imposing.
Yeah. It was he felt more like a relative of Pound up to this point. This guy looks like a freak.
Yeah, he does look like a freak. Well, of course, I like that he's got like a ponytail that just like looks like a loaf of bread.
Yeah, something like that. He is just he's got something all over him, but it's like Luffy's like, armor, that you're a liar. That you were bleeding. He's like, nah, that was just jam. I'm a craftsman at heart. And we learned. I was like, oh, he must be like an arm, like something similar to Robin, where he can sprout arms. It's like, no, he's a biscuit man. He has the powers of the Bisfist fruit, where he can produce and manipulate an infinite number of biscuits. Just craft the outline and with crushed biscuit dusk, and just set your mind to it. And look, the face of a hardened warrior. So we literally have an enemy that is it cake?
Yes. I mean, would you expect anything different from this arc?
They're on theme, but my God, it really does show that, I got a devil fruit. The biscuit fruit? the hell? What am I going to do with this?
Right.
And then you see this guy's like, oh no, you can do a lot with this.
Yeah. I love that he's like, the biscuits, change their form depending on the era and the creator, that he could just, literally make anything out of biscuits, it seems, which is just like, yeah, sure, man, why not? I love that. Even his wanted poster only shows his armor, not his true self. So he's, well, I feel like if you kind of read into his character, right, where he doesn't like pain, so he hides behind his armor, which is, I guess it's interesting because he seems like he's already really strong, so he doesn't need it. But
he doesn't like take the hits, and right there, I don't like pain, not even injections. Like, okay, there's the key to defeating him. You need to just hit him once.
Yeah,
I think one good hit and he's done.
But that's going to be hard because Luffy. It took Gear 4 Luffy to beat one biscuit warrior, and he can make infinite number of them.
Yeah, he starts immediately spawning like 5, 6 of these things, all looking the same. Yeah. It's just like, oh no.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy.
And he's like, this is why you're not going to see Sanji again. He's like, nah, I will. And of course it's just straight down to like, okay, it's time for a straight up fight between these two, where it's the Kong organ gun, which is basically Gatling, versus all of the Cracker armors, and he's kind of pushing Luffy back.
He is. I think that's a new move, right?
I think it is. We've never seen that.
Because I've wondering, because I've seen it, in outside media. I've seen it later a dozen times, and I never remembered when it showed up. So
this is the first time.
I was like, oh, okay, it's here. Yeah, that's interesting. But it's the fact that we basically need the Kong is his version of Gatling to get through all of these, and like Luffy really looks like he's struggling here.
And the crazy thing is, Luffy's quick dodge of the pretzel thrust is the last we see of this fight.
Oh, yeah.
Which kills me because there's a time skip, like a minor time skip, but still a time skip where it's like, what the hell happened? Before that, Nami is still taking advantage of the vivre card, and they're like, that's no good, we're too overwhelmed by Master Cracker and Straw Hat to be anywhere near them. And Nami comes in, it's like, so hundreds of you could shrivel up and wither away, and it wouldn't affect me in the slightest. Cracker the General or his mother, Big Mom, which one's scarier? And all of them go, you are.
You are. Yes, no, she is absolutely just like, all right, this is my ticket. This is my golden ticket. I am going to bully these poor homies.
She has completely taken over the forest. It's amazing.
And again, this is the stuff I was talking about earlier of like, since we're working with, fewer of the Straw Hats, like each of them get to kind of do their own thing individually. And like the Nami stuff, pretty much ever since we've got here has been like aces. She's been on fire.
Yeah, really gold. I love to see this confidence from her. It's not she's not in coward mode, which which is often a thing that she would do with Chopper and Usopp. But no, she's been on it this time, and I feel like she was affected by hearing what Brule said about the other members. It's like, no, we got to show some confidence. We got to take advantage. We got to show that we're better.
Yeah, and, exactly.
In the meantime, though, it's time to check in on Chopper and Carrot in the mirror world. And he's like, okay, I've got a great idea. So from this point forward, you need to call me Big Bro Chopper. Okay, what's your idea, Chobro? Chobro?
Close enough.
And we see the mirror world where it actually is connected to all the mirrors. This is how Brule works.
It's like a I don't know what the
MC
word
Escher painting
in my brain. Yes,
yeah.
That for sure. But also a very convenient highway to kind of get from place to place. Of literally, you as far as Brule is concerned, you have no privacy.
No,
Whole Cake Island.
Nope. And that's when Chopper has the excellent idea of, we just shouldn't be trying to escape this place. We should be using Brule's powers to our benefit. And I'm like, I like how the Straw Hats are taking disadvantages and finding ways to use them.
Mm-hmm.
The only one who truly seems to be on the back foot at this point is kind of Luffy.
Right, yeah, because he's the only one who it feels like, everybody's trying to outsmart their opponents, which of course Luffy will never do.
No.
So he is stuck in brute force mode, and again, it just feels like if this is the first guy we're fighting, it's like, oh boy. Good luck.
Quick check-in with Brooke and Pedro, who have successfully gotten inside. The infiltration was a success, but we just need to wait for the Biscuit Soldier to do its round so they can pop out and continue on. So they are slowly making their way in. Things are going okay for the infiltration group.
Okay, yeah. So there's, we're all kind of at various, some sections are doing a little better than others right now.
Yeah. But here's what kills me. The next morning on Whole Cake Chateau.
Oh, yeah.
They said that it would be the next day at midday that the brothers would arrive, and now it's next morning. Has Luffy and Cracker just been fighting this entire time? What happened?
I think that is the implication, yes.
This is insane, because Luffy cannot maintain Gear 4 that long. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So I feel like we have to do a little bit of a time rewind at some point, because...
I think so. I don't know if that's the case, so I'm saying that would make the most sense just based on, like, Luffy's not going to maintain Gear 4 for that long. So
no, that's
literally that would be what makes most sense to me. And there's I feel like we've done that before. That's not an outrageous thing to guess.
No, not at all. But yeah, we check on with Big Mom this next morning, and today's schedule is a meeting with the Vinsmoke family at the castle, followed by the exchange of gifts. The wedding cake will not be ready until tomorrow. And I like how she refers to the Straw Hats as mold spores. This is their final chance to make contact with their pal. But according to her, once Sanji enters the castle, their chances of contact are essentially zero. After all, the tea party and the wedding ceremony will be held here.
Well, I love that it takes a second for you to notice who she's talking to. She's talking to her pirate hat.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize who she was talking to. It's just a nebulous group of things. But yeah, her pirate hat is the one that's talking. Weird.
Yeah, that's great. Not even a real surprise at this point.
No, I just like, whatever.
Yeah.
That's just Big Mom.
Yep.
Oh, gosh. And I like how she's like, so they're all talk just like the others. Well, we got to have all the Vinsmoke sons together anyway. And we just received word that they've landed in the port. The beloved sons of Judge have arrived. And the youngest, what's his name, Yonji, really looking forward to see them face off with Sanji. And I will always, I'm still struggling to remember her sister's
Reiju?
Reiju.
Yeah.
She is certainly the most fascinating of the group now. Is like where her alliances lie. Yeah, she's an observer. Mm-hmm. And I love that Sanji just has shivers from their arrival.
Yeah, he does not like them.
No, not one bit.
Yep. Of course, crucially, we do finally, we don't have to call them number 1 and 2 anymore. As you could assume, we do finally get proper names for them. So the second son, Electric Blue, Vinsmoke Niji, of course, Ni being 2 in Japanese, and Sparking Red, the eldest son, Vinsmoke Ichiji, Ichi being 1, of course. So
amazing.
Yeah. Judge, not the most creative father.
No, which honestly explains a lot. That actually kind of gets explained as time goes on. There's not really a need for him to be creative. Mm-hmm. Oh, goodness. Now we're into... Honestly, that's all been excellent. Now it feels like we're into the good stuff.
This is the, like, that was all, fights and adventure. Here's the texture. Here's the emotional stuff. Mm-hmm. Here's the character richness.
So let's get into chapter 839, I Owe You My Life. And I recognize that dude that's on the on the image this time around. Uh, he's like a security guard, and it's just like a gag comic all the time.
Yes.
Did he finally end at this point?
Yes. This is.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I don't remember his name either, but he's the main character of a manga called Kochikame, which is it's just like a kind of a daily life gag manga that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna look it up here real quick.
I want to say it's going on for like 40 years or something like that.
I think it was the longest running Shonen Jump series. From 1976 to 2016. And it ran for 1,960 chapters collected into 201 tankobon volumes.
Luffy, I don't think One Piece has any hope of catching up to that.
We're a little past halfway.
Oh my god.
But you could see why, Oda would want to celebrate such an incredible run.
Yeah. That's a big deal.
I don't think he has a celebration for it, but I also think we're about to hit where Bleach ends.
Oh. That'd be that's
if,
interesting that he wouldn't have a celebration of Bleach.
Yeah, this is 2016 because we got the one for Naruto back in Dressrosa. So it would be a couple years after that. Yeah, that's crazy.
I know. All right, let's get into it. Where man, we're at the Germa 66 castle. They're talking about the how the
Broccoli.
whole Broccoli war was just another victim of the fall of Doflamingo. So the side that can no longer acquire weapons sought our strength in its place rather than sticking to the policy of suppression. And they each have their own comments about how they sort of think about that sort of thing, where Reiju is like, half-hearted kindness only leads to more suffering. This is the perfect example. It's like, who cares
Put
about
him out
the
of misery.
Yeah. Ichiji is just like, who cares about the reason? Niji is like, whoever pays us more that gets the win. That's all there is to it. Yonji's like, we could have played them against each other and crushed them both, made twice as much instead. And
I feel like Yonji's kind of the worst one out of them all.
Right? Definitely the weakest, but certainly the one that's the most, like, this, I guess, least principled, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah. Interestingly, I somebody who I don't know might be judged, just because an offhand comment is like, that would make us no different from pirates. We are still a member state of the world government. And interestingly, like, and I think Reiju mentioned earlier, like, they can go to the reverie, but like they're like, we might not get invited this time.
Yeah, I think they're going to be revoking our right.
Which I think is why that they are banking on this whole Big Mom marriage.
Could
because now they're aligning with pirates as opposed to the world government.
True. Before we talk about the location that they're eating in, which is insane in its own right, I love the detail that Sanji's curly brow is the opposite of his entire family. Yes.
Yeah. Everybody else is in the exact opposite direction.
Yes. It's simple, but it works.
It totally works. I feel like you immediately understand why he is like kind of the odd one out, right? The ugly duckling. And it's funny too that like pre-time skip, Sanji's hair was like parted on the other side. But now everybody's hair, other than Yonji, who's got it like slicked back, but everybody's like hair is parted on the same side.
That is true.
Even Reiju, which is really funny.
But so if you didn't suspect it already, at least from my perspective, you have a way to go even further than this. You see this next panel of them with the giant eagle, the 66 banners, or the double six banners, the skulls with the lightning through it, the skull throne the judge sits on. It's like, Oda's just revealing his hand. They're just full on Nazis.
100%. I mean, the way that I jokingly have called them to people who don't read One Piece or of explaining like, what happens here is like, Sanji's family they're the Nazi Power Rangers. Because that's what it is. God. Like, it's just like straight up, just like full on like fascist iconography. It's kind of great.
I am really looking forward to these guys getting beat down all of a sudden.
I mean, I feel like in no uncertain terms, other than Reiju, right? Like everybody else here sucks, and that's kind of what this chapter is like Judge sucks, Ichiji, Niji, Yonji, they suck. They're all terrible. Oh man.
And you said that this is actually like this iconography is also very much matches, what is it, Kamen Rider?
Kamen Rider, yeah, which of course is the other, even predates Super Sentai. They're both from actually I don't remember. It might be the other way around. I don't remember which one is first, but they're both, you know, classic Japanese superhero franchises that are still going on to this day. And Oda is very much kind of like mixing them together. The sort of the eagle in its pose is what tipped me off. Is like, oh, this is Shocker, which is the original, the villains from the original Kamen Rider. And there's reasons we'll get into later that make it even more obvious that like, oh yeah, Oda is mixing and matching his Japanese superheroes here. But it is a really interesting thing to kind of put it together. And also I think the first Sentai series was about a family of superheroes. So that's probably where that aspect
that
of
could be.
I
don't know what actually is the first what the first Super Sentai was. So oh boy. Yeah, and we just have. I have to go by their glasses because we don't have their hair.
Yeah,
we can't see their hair colors. Thank you, Oda, for that. But we have Niji here saying it's rare for anything to bring so much pleasure to father. To think the day would arrive that you would become useful, Sanji. I was stunned that you disappeared. No, really. The rest of us used to talk from time to time about where you were. We tried to figure out what ditch you'd be found to die in, and which would end up being the most entertaining for us. And I love this. It's like,
yes,
recognize
dude.
it. You know, Yanji's snickering at the whole thing. He's like, hey, you haven't finished, Niji. Eat all your food. It's like, what did you say? Oh, this? I'm done. I'm not hungry. I chowed down on plenty of chocolate earlier, and this potato-y sauce looks nasty. It's all sticky and gross. This is going straight to the trash. Oh, we haven't gotten to see this in a while.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just straight up. And I love that Sanji just, because he's heard it all before at this point, right? He's completely no-selling Niji's bullying, and he's just straight up to like this whole sequence is just Sanji's values. Like, he is standing, 10 toes down, being like, no, like these are the things I value. You eat your food. Do not waste food in my presence. And that is just something that he will never compromise on. And I love that.
Yeah. And then Niji takes it a step further. It's like, oh, you dare insult me? And it, like how he calls him. He doesn't say anything else. He says, you Sanji. That's how much they disregard him. Is that his name is an insult?
Yeah, right.
And he calls in the head chef Cosette and says that this disgusting looking food she served caused my brother to upset me. And we see Cosette here, just like, I'm so sorry, I served something you did not suit your taste. And he picks up the plate, says, don't move, and he chucks the food with the plate and all straight at Cosette's head. And Sanji catches it before it strikes her face, with all the food plopping to the ground.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Which, of course, that's like, all right, that's strike two.
Yeah. It's like, you dare leave a mark on a lady's face. It's like, oh, this is... Maybe it's the collar and the outfit that he's wearing, but he's in such dashing hero mode. It's like...
No, he is. He
hell
absolutely...
yeah, Sanji. I am so happy to be like,
we've been waiting for.
Sanji, I love you. You're all about it. I love you. It's so wonderful.
And what I love too about this scene is that, like, I mean, because he is in kind of the dashing hero mode, like there's no kind of room for like the, here's another cute woman. But like he's, the scene where, of course Niji's like, oh, you're gonna stick up for a kitchen maid. And so then he goes on and he's like, oh, now the food's on the floor. And, he starts like complimenting, Cosette's cooking, basically.
The cooking, and the reasoning behind it, why she chose this meal. It strengthens the body's immune system and stabilizes blood pressure. It's nutritious. And this meat is a fine confit. I assume it's because you're exalted guest. This is a heavy-duty dish to make in one day. And he starts eating it himself.
Eating it on the floor. Yeah.
It's even like Reiju's whole like, oh, what a gentleman. It's just like it just all of Sanji's values rolled up into one place and just complimenting her immediately. It's like the flavoring is flawless and her eyes bug out. She's blushing. She's crying from the compliment.
It's probably the first compliment she's ever received.
Right? And it's like, okay, Sanji, this is how you get women. Women be all
he knows
you.
How to do it. He's got the riz. He just can't help himself.
He has to be silly in his own way. And that's when Niji's had enough. Is like, oh, how dare you? How far you've sunk into the poverty mindset. How dare you? If you dare call yourself my brother, I won't stand for you to debase our name like this. And he goes to kick Sanji's face, and Judge is like, no, he hasn't been married yet. You can't hit him in the face. So he stops him, and the sheer power of the kick sends a gust of a shockwave that blows over Cosette.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And then yeah, and
they
then,
are
of course,
joke.
Yeah, and of course Niji calls him an embarrassment, and Sanji's like, I'm embarrassed to be associated with it. And I love this speech where he's just like, an idiot who can't respect the sanctity of food, a man who raises his hand against a woman, royalty who treats their servants like inhuman objects. Everything you stand for runs counter to my ideals. And I'm like, yes, this is it.
Yes,
this is what I've been waiting for.
I love it. And I love how all the guys look various forms of pissed. Even Yanji kind of looks cool looking at Sanji like that. But again, Reiju just maintains the bemused observer, which can go in so many different ways. Yeah,
definitely. I do get the sense that she definitely seems to operate on a different level.
For sure,
compared to her brothers, or at least I don't know if she's more subtle about it. It is really kind of hard to tell what she's thinking.
I could see it go multiple ways because I can easily read that as, oh, she's on Sanji's side. But I could also see that as like, well, how amusing to see him have it treated like this, and she might be the strongest. Who knows?
Right? Yeah. It is like, is she kind of looking down on him at this point? But there's multiple ways to read her right now.
But it's also like, I can see Judge placing more emphasis on the boys because she is also given the moniker of Zero. She's not one, even though she's the oldest. She's Zero. So the expectations on her might be different, and I could see that being a reason why she's like, screw these guys.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see where Oda plays this hand. But yeah, basically, Ichiji just goes, I've never understood the way you see things. Royalty operates by its own set of rules. You are in the wrong here. It's like, oh my God. Yeah. Oda laying it on so thick.
Super thick, yeah. Like, they're kind of celestial dragons in their own way with a similar mindset.
And Judge is just like, your mistakes are only getting worse. Can I attribute it to this man's corrupting influence? And brings out a picture of Zeph. Yeah. And freaking Big Mom's Intelligence Network. Just breaking it all down. It's like, you were working at this man's restaurant. They've even identified the stretch of sea. The picture is quite recent. The ocean-going restaurant Baratier. And we see Tamago breaking it down. It's like, both the Straw Hats and Sanji himself will mount resistance against this marriage, just in case you have this bracelet and the knowledge of a secret weakness. And it's just like, damn, they've just provided.
Yeah, no, they're good.
Everything for him. But yeah, basically, you don't listen to us, we're gonna kill Zeph.
Yeah, we're gonna chop his head off.
And Zeph might be good, but he definitely stands no chance against German 66.
Yeah, and this I feel like really is like, we're kind of laying it all down, right? Don't resist, forget your friends, accept your marriage to pudding. Everything will wrap up neatly. And we were talking, at the top of the show, right? Like, it's kind of all varying levels of desperate for, all the Straw Hats here. But Sanji really feels like the most, like, there's nothing you can do about this.
It is It is so interesting to see Sanji put in a place that is so similar to Robin's.
Yeah. I think that's a good comparison.
Yeah.
And I feel like too there's this aspect of like there's a level of Sanji left the crew kind of because your past kind of catching up to you, but it's sort of manifesting in a different way. That like it doesn't feel like like an exact rehash or anything like that.
No.
Of course, the way that Sanji and Robin react to these things is of course very different.
Yeah, he definitely resists way more than Robin. Which, again, I all the reasonings and stuff behind the way it all works out, it makes sense. But man, just seeing all those flashbacks to him growing up with Zeph, him being a lady, like all about the ladies, how he gets better at cooking, and then of course the farewell of like keep your feet dry and just I owe you my life, and
that's great, man.
That rough parenting style. Somebody on our Patreon was commenting about some of the past episodes. Is bringing up the Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It's like, may have been your father, but he ain't your daddy. And that rough style of Zeph so matches that line.
Yeah, absolutely. I do love that one line from the flashback too, where young Sanji, after the whole eating your leg thing, and he's just like, I never gave you a reason to be kind to me. And I feel like you can already kind of see. You can draw a line from point A to point B with Sanji's upbringing and how he, receives kindness and how he expects to receive kindness or lack thereof. The idea that there needs to be a reason. You kind of have to justify yourself, and how you kind of get that journey right of like through Zeph's kind of mentorship and fatherhood is like how he kind of grows into becoming a better person. And just having that cap off where they do finally part ways, like that I owe you my life, I'll never forget you. Like even now, like already has all this extra weight to it.
Yeah, it's
great.
So good.
This is the good stuff, man.
And just him having to be resigned, where Judge is like, let's have a peaceful ceremony tomorrow. We'll be having lunch today with Big Mom and Pudding. Prepare to leave for her castle. And as he leaves, because it's not quite time yet, he finds a Cosette beaten and bloodied.
Yep.
It's like I've never seen such wretched cowardice. It's like, it's your fault. Sanji and Yanji tells him, it's like, you put her on a higher level than where she belongs. You want to see Niji? He's your culprit. So Niji eventually still took out his anger on her.
Yeah. Again, they suck.
They really suck.
I can't really put it in any other way than that. That is, again, and even Yonji being like, yeah, it's your fault. Like, come on, dude.
So, he offers to take him to him, and it's like, all right, I want to see him. And they were never allowed in this place as kids, but now they are. So because they need to replenish type MB 54 units and type MST 30 units and type MH 21 units, because it turns out, well, they've got a clone factory.
Yeah. Well, now we kind of, execute order 66.
Oh my gosh. Is that where he freaking got the name from?
I'm 99% sure that is why they're Germa 66. It's from freaking Attack of the Clones.
Oh my god. I didn't even think about that. Amazing.
We really are, like, Germa really is just kind of a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Just imagine all the evil fascist types, all of them.
Yeah,
together.
exactly. Yeah.
Just mix them all in a blender.
Yeah, I'm surprised at this point that Judge doesn't have like a lightsaber or something.
I know, right? Oh gosh, we do have another SBS. Nothing too major.
Yeah.
Other than asking about if Hancock's cooking tastes good. Is like, it used to be bad, but she's gotten much better at cooking meat over the last 2 years because of Luffy. But who really knows, because he's the only one that's ever eaten it.
Fair enough. Fair
enough. Oh boy. But let's go ahead and get to our final chapter for the set, because boy, how did this fly by.
Boy, man, it really did. This is such a good week, man.
840, the Iron Mask. As this is a fun idea. Chopper and all the other bears that they've met.
Yes.
Eating honey like Pooh Bear.
Incredible.
That's good.
Oh my god. Just even Kuma back there.
And the swarm of bees getting ready to attack.
Yep. That's great.
Oh, goodness. But, yeah. Time to break down exactly why there's just so many men in Germa 66. Or six. I keep wanting to say 66. Double six. My God. It's the soldiers. And Sanji's like, of course he has no idea what this actually is. This is so different. And I love how each of them kind of looks like a little medicine bottle because of the little topper on, on top of them.
It's a little goofy.
It's a bioculture liquid where they all have the same face. And basically he reveals human beings can be built. For generations, Germa has been a nation of science, believe it or not. Father is a brilliant scientist, which just makes me think of the line from Dragon Ball. It's like,
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, from the
scientist.
It was about Bardock, right?
Yeah, Bardock. Yeah, super intelligent Bardock there.
Yeah,
Before
of course,
we were born, he participated in a research team skirting the law in a foreign territory, where he was studying and developing weapons with Dr. Vegapunk.
Yep, there it is.
Of course, everything science related goes back to Vegapunk.
Absolutely. And sort of the ways in which sort of you don't even bat an eye at like, oh yeah, like cloning technology exists in the One Piece world now. I feel like whenever we do kind of get into the science territory, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, sure, yeah. Like there's way more sci-fi here than you might think.
For a simple pirate story, it goes, the science of it just goes wilder and wilder because basically Vegapunk discovered DNA.
Yes, exactly. The bloodline elements, which is actually not the first time we've heard this term. It was, back in, right after, like, between Punk Hazard and Dressrosa.
Really?
Because it was like, yeah, they were on the way to Dressrosa, and, they were all like, wow, Caesar, you're such a great scientist. It must have taken a real scientific mind. I'm forgetting exactly. I think it was for the smile. And I think it was Law who was like, no, actually, it was Vegapunk's discovery of bloodlight elements, and he just kind of rode his coattails, and of course, Caesar was like, grr.
Of course.
So, yeah, the concept of bloodlight elements will be somewhat recurring, so I want to point it out whenever it shows up. So there's a bigger plan here with that sort of thing. So, keep an eye out for it.
Oh man. And of course, the government felt threatened by this and arrested Vegapunk, or more accurately, his whole team was absorbed by the government. So the fact that he was arrested by Vegapunk, I wonder how much Vegapunk is a willing participant in all this research at this point. Because being arrested and being able to make all this, it's like, could he have been a rebel before this whole thing with the government? I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's definitely potential there, right? Like, sort of, I mean, because we already know, like, that they already have that. I'm trying to remember what we learned on Punk Hazard. I think, were they already doing government stuff with the... It's hard to tell, because Caesar's version of events was very much not the truth.
True.
But I think it was through that whole stuff that, like, Caesar became like a fugitive, basically. Right. So I would like to think that what we saw back then was sort of pre-government contract, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. It definitely kind of it brings it into question, I think, which is the correct reaction.
Right. But Judge escaped their grasp and continued the research here at Germa and copying augmenting life, thus leading to the birth of this facility. All of these soldiers you see are copies of just a few superior fighters. Clones. Mm-hmm. None of them have a clue that they're clones, though.
Which is dark. It also
That's why they wear the masks.
Yep. It also explains why, that they can just be like, wall, and then they'll take the hit for you.
Exactly. They come in, they throw their lives away, they don't care. Yep. Why it's also mostly men, not a lot of women. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just... subservient, fearless, faithful, easily replaced, Takes 5 years to create a 20-year-old soldier. This is our military storage depot.
Yeah.
God.
Wow.
And of course, Sanji just sees this and is like, I'm going to be sick. When we heard, and that's when they come in. It's like, when we heard you were a pirate, I thought maybe our little failure was actually growing up a bit. Turned out you were as big a disappointment as ever. Niji seems to be the most antagonistic towards Sanji.
He does. Yeah. Like, Ichiji feels more kind of like they're all on the same page, obviously. Ichiji feels maybe the most like kind of confident and detached.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Definitely kind of eldest brother vibes, or I guess kind of as the middle child. I don't know. That Niji's maybe the most antagonistic, but yeah, of course, from Sanji's perspective, it's on site. He just straight up just kicks Niji in the face, which is well deserved.
Yes, the revenge for Cosette. And he's like, "Oh, you're gonna pay for that crime against her." And and of course, Ichiji is like, "Hey, don't forget we have that hostage reverse in East Blue," which stops him a bit. And Ichiji is able to use stealth to just basically teleport right behind him, just like, "Nah, don't fight back, or Blood will run into the East Blue." And he uses something called Henry Needle to do like an electric shock kick into Sanji's back and sends him down. Yeah. It's like, oh boy,
man. The thing that's really devastating about this kind of stuff with Germa is, like, of course we have to establish that, of course, like, these guys are strong, right? And like, like Sanji is clearly capable, like, he can hold his own against them, but is one kind of held back by the circumstances, and two just seems like he's just like that extra little bit weaker than the rest of them still.
It's also 3-on-1. So
that too, yeah. Well, I mean, with the fight against his dad too, right?
True.
It was very much that same sort of thing where he's kind of on the same level, but like still not quite. But like he's still trying to fight back. Like he's trying to have whatever little scraps of agency that he can get in the situation, which is just not much at all.
Yeah, and it's just the way they even think about this. It's like, oh, are you taking a liking to her? If I'd known that, I wouldn't have smashed her face. You can make her your personal servant if you don't mind her being seriously wounded. It's just like, oh, if you wanted her just as a concubine, oh, okay, that's different. It's like, God.
Yeah.
So bad. And just that welcome back to the Vinsmoke family. It's like time to establish the hierarchy. You are a failure. And that's what brings us into our flashback, showing more of his childhood, where I'm questioning the fact about whether or not they're actually like, how much are they sons of Judge at this point? Because we just found out cloning, and he says, "Listen up, children. You are my greatest masterpieces. By wielding the concentrated powers of advanced science, you are born to be greater than human. You will be unbound by the foolish, naive ways of the world and grow to eventually lead your own military forces. And one day rule Germa 66 with the ever-evolving power of science. I have given you ability. The rest comes down to discipline." And did he clone his sons? I don't know wholly, because, again, he mentions Sanji's mother at one point, as we'll see here later.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if they were they're clones in the same way that Boba Fett is a clone, where it's more naturally grown rather than incubated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely there is an answer to that. For sure.
I'm sure.
But yeah, but it's clear that, like, even kind of we get a lot of just like 3 pages of montage, and it's clear that Sanji just kind of can't keep up with the rest of them.
Yeah. And he has a kindness to him where he's like keeping a pet turtle, and then Yanji hurts the turtle, and Sanji's upset at him, and then he gets beat up, and he can't stand up against him. And again, more of Reiju's stuff where she's like shocked at Sanji getting beaten by Ichiji, but then proceeds to laugh with the others. So it's again, how much is she on Sanji's side? That's the big question for a lot of these.
Definitely, for these childhood sequences, the I think implication is not much, but
yeah. But Judge is just like, why is Sanji so weak? He lags so far behind the others. The rest are making excellent progress. Their exoskeletons are developing well.
Yeah, no.
The hell? But their resilience and strength are equivalent to full-grown men. So, yikes. And basically this scientist who's talking to him was like, as for Sanji, it's delicate to say, but he must be considered a failure. It should have worked for all 4 of the children, yet somehow he is no different than the way he was born. Meaning that he's nothing more than human.
Wow.
Remember when Sanji was considered a monster in the East Blue when he was easily taking care of so many of those other guys on the East Blue? Right,
yeah. It's just kind of like, no, well, now they tried to genetically modify him, but it didn't take. So it's just... and of course, I like that even from this young age. I love the scene where he's, like, they'd mentioned before, it's like, oh, are you still making rat food? And it's like, no, he was... They meant that literally.
Yeah. I mean, he makes his food for this little mouse, and he's like, he cooked it for me. He's all excited about it. Is it good? Also, real quick, he's reading about Nolan the Liar.
Yeah,
that's the book he's holding, and he has a book on devil fruit next to him, which is because he said he saw them, which explains how he saw the invisible fruit, the one he wanted.
Oh, that's right.
So I like how Oda has those little elements. It's like, yeah, this is part of Sanji's backstory.
Yeah, that's it's crazy that we're getting all the way that he's expanding Oda is expanding Sanji's backstory is it is feeling like it slots in pretty naturally. It's all very cohesive.
Yeah, and here's where we get that line: is like, your mother is dead. Stop chasing her shadow. Unlike your siblings, you have no talent by birth. Therefore, she must work 10 times, 100 times as hard to make up the difference. So. You can't let me down, and just smashes the food and hurts the mouse and just says never cook again.
And he just starts crying.
Yeah.
And it is at this point that I must admit that that this panel has become somewhat of a meme.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which panel?
The never cook again has become a very famous reaction image because of is the opposite of let him cook. I've seen this panel floating around of Judge saying never cook again.
That's amazing. That's pretty good. But yeah.
We do I do like we get a little bit as sort of like what's going on from Reiju's side of things where she's like just they're all laughing at, poor Sanji just beaten up and bloodied. And she's like, of course I had to laugh along with them. They'll pick on me too if I try to stop them. And nobody wants that. So she's looking out for her own skin, basically.
And I missed this detail the first time where they're like, no changes. And Judge just goes, what a waste of life. An unthinkable shipwreck I mourn. My 5 children were meant to lead Germa into the future together. I've lost a promising son. Sanji is dead to him. He has a funeral picture up of Sanji.
Yeah. No,
that's how dead he is. And that's why he puts him in the Iron Mask. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, no, they straight up just like put him in a dungeon. And it's just like, it's wild that he's like, Judge is such a terrible father, but he doesn't have the will to just like, kill his own son or like throw him overboard or whatever. So he's just like, I'm just going to bury you. I'm going to pretend that you were dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even he, tells his kids that they're dead. And they're like, is he really dead? It's like, I don't know. Who cares anyway? It's just like, poor Sanji just like begging and pleading to be like let out.
And the way Reiju has sort of like, she sort of has this silent smile, the ... the way she is looking aside, it has the sweat thing. I'm going to make a prediction. Reiju is how Sanji got away.
Oh, it does kind of look like she knows.
Yeah.
If the other 3 are talking like, who cares? Is he really dead? Yeah, that's a little bit suspicious. I
feel like there's enough facial features there that she's going to be the reason he got away. Maybe we'll find. I don't know if the flashback continues, but if it does, I feel like that'll be the next thing that is detailed is how he got away from Germa. Because for the most part, I think we've seen his backstory involving them. There's not, other than like maybe his mother. There's not really much else to say other than again whether they're naturally aging clones.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact timing. This is definitely most of it. There are a couple things that I'm remembering that like I don't remember when they get revealed. But this is sort of like yeah, kind of the the meat and potatoes of it all. And I just that final line of the chapter where like just you have like a toddler basically being like, "Let me out. I'm sorry for being born weak. Help me, Dad." That got me. That got me shooken up a little bit. Like,
yeah,
hey man,
considering I have a son, it's like,
yeah, right. Like, and you would just pretend that your own flesh and blood, maybe potentially, is just like, yeah, I'm just gonna kill him off. Like, he's just dead to me.
That you can treat a child like that is just
it's
unfathomable.
Yeah, and I feel like we already, we kind of knew just based on Sanji's initial reaction, kind of way back in Zou, where it's just kind of like, oh god, not these guys, right? Like, you see how Sanji reacts to her, he's like, I freaking hate these guys. Like, I don't want anything to do with these people. And seeing this flashback, it's like, yeah, why would you?
No, definitely not.
His family disowned him, and it's just like, I'm gonna disown my family. They clearly don't care about me. Yeah, exactly.
We do have an SBS before we do a proper wrap up here, where we learn how Beppo, Penguin, and Shachi joined the Heart Pirates with Law. Basically, wherever Law ended up, Shachi and Penguin were there, little snot-nosed kids. Beppo left Zou in search of his older brother. Got on a ship to the North Blue and wound up on the same island as the two of them, or all of them. And Law spotted two young ruffians picking on a polar bear. So when they turned on him next, he ended up beating them and saving the polar bear. And basically the three of them wound up respecting Law's strength. And so the three of them just worked together. And Beppo studied seafaring and navigation in hopes of returning to Zou. So that's a cute backstory.
Man, I want to see more of this.
I know, right? Actually see it animated or told or something like that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
But yeah, that's our set for this week, and I can't wait to see more. I'm so curious how this is gonna go. This might be Sanji at his best.
It really is. Like, I feel like this is we've been such I guess I don't want to say like critics, but like we like Sanji, but we want him to do better. I think we've
hyped him up in his moments, like when he like makes his reappearance during Water 7 for the train and all that stuff, and how he detected certain things, or how he handled Crocodile during Alabasta. That those were just so classic and good secret agent type stuff, which kind of goes into how he's able to his backstory, weirdly enough. Okay. But then he just goes into like reduces to like pure horn dog mode, and it's just like, you're better than this.
Exactly.
To get this rebound is wonderful, and I hope it doesn't have to fully stick where he doesn't go into horn dog mode ever, but a better balance after this point, I think, is necessary, or be hopeful.
Right. Yeah. I feel like at the very least, I feel like, how do I want to say this? Like, when he does kind of go into horn dog mode, I feel like there's a little more context behind it. and I feel like there's almost this element like of, I don't want to call it like sad almost, but it's just like how this man has like received love in his entire life, and how he chooses to express it. Like there is sort of almost like an inherent tragedy there in the gags.
I wonder if him not hurting women goes back to his mom. Like the whole, like, I will never hurt a woman no matter what. I feel like that might go back to his mom. Yeah,
there's definitely like, there is a mystery getting established there, right? With like what part, like, if he has a mother, what parts did he really kind of pick up from that versus, I don't know. The other brothers just seem like little judges. They're all little demons.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I guess sort of the implication with like, stop chasing your mom, I think that implies to me is like, oh, is his mom a chef, or just like, not an evil person?
Who knows?
Hard to say for now. But yeah, no. I feel like I'm so glad we're finally getting to this stuff, because it really, every time we were kind of criticizing how Oda was taking Sanji's character, just like, oh, you want him to be better than this. All of the gags in Fishman Island, and even to punk hazard to an extent. You're just kind of like, man, because you know he can be better. And this stuff, seeing him actually like stand up for Crescent, seeing him, stand up for his ideals and say like, no, finish your food, no, don't, like, you dare, lay hands on a woman. And just, I feel like it is almost great that his siblings are so terrible because it really does, like, they are a perfect foil for Sanji to really just like hammer down who he is as a person. And I feel like because he has basically like this whole arc to kind of explore like who he is as a person, he feels already at this point one of the more like well-realized Straw Hats. He already was, but like he feels like one of the more complicated characters.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So it's all good food. I'm eating it up. I'm glad.
These food puns are unintentional, by the way.
They are, but
I think we've said them before. It just works really well for this arc. So
it really does. Yeah.
Even the meat and potatoes that you said is a reference to because that's meal. So I was like, oh my God, we can't get away from it.
We really can't. We really can't.
But with that, I believe we've said all we've wanted to say about chapters 836 to 840 of One Piece. Thank you so much for listening, and you can find more of my ramblings and stream VODs over at BitNerd Games on YouTube or simply BitNerd on BlueSky. And Brandon, where can everyone find you at?
I am Brandon Bovia on Twitter and BlueSky, talking about anime, manga, games, and my job. And yeah, that's it. Nothing really to promote this time around. Just excited to come back for more One Piece next week.
Same. So yeah, if you'd like to help us out more, you can support the podcast over at patreon.com/Derrick Bittner. That's DerrickBitner to listen to the next episode ad-free 3 days early, as well as patron-exclusive bonus episodes. And make sure to return next time as we discuss chapters 841 to 845 of One Piece. So until then, my friends, bye.
Remember to take life one piece at a time.
Sanji's really dead?
Who cares? We don't need that loser around.